Welcome to Be Advised, Leading with Value with Brad Swineheart. In this podcast, we will focus on successful marketing methods for advisors that generate prospects and clients. We will learn from the best in the industry on how advisors in the trenches today are growing their practices. Join us for this journey where Brad draws from years of expertise and guest experts to help advisors reach their full potential.
Welcome to the Be Advised Leading with Value podcast with Brad Swineheart of White Glove. I'm Patrice Sikora, and in this episode of the series, we have the chance to learn more about Brad from Brad. And since the best place to start is probably at the beginning, how did you get into the industry, Brad?
Well, that's a great question. To be honest, nepotism. I was in the right place at the right time and knew one of the founders of White Glove outside of work. And they were looking for a sales manager when they were still building this crazy, ever evolving company in the basement of their financial firm. And they needed someone with sales management experience. And I went right from running a team in a retail environment of 200 employees to the basement of this advisor's financial firm to a little company called White Glove with 20 employees. It was the best decision of my life. And it's been a crazy, wild ride of growth ever since.
Well, what made you make that decision, though? That's quite a jump.
It was just that point in my life. I wanted something exciting. I wanted something new. And I knew there was just so much more entrepreneurial spirit inside of me that was not being fulfilled in my current role. And I said, you know what? Let's just take the leap of faith. These guys seem to know what the heck they're doing. Let's jump on this train and see where it heads.
Who do you work with?
I work with the founders of White Glove, Mike and Dean Thurman. They're both financial advisors, and the co-founder Jeff Grail. And the specialty is advisors growth. They've built their practice over the last 30 years, primarily doing seminars, in-person events, and there's this need that they always had to find a better way to stay focused on what they're good at, being a financial advisor, and not get distracted by trying to be a marketer or trying to learn algorithms on digital platforms or being an event planner, like how to stay out of that minutia. And working with them, we've built this very special company called White Glove, where we allow other advisors to really see growth, but allow them to focus on their clients and prospects and let somebody else actually do all of the work for them. And that's really the specialty, whether it comes to in-person events or virtual seminars or even social media management, or even the services we're going to offer in the future. The idea behind it is to keep the advisor focused on their clients and prospects and outsource all the grunt work and all the financial risk to a company like ours that's going to take on the burdens that come along with trying to grow your practice.
Do you have an ideal client?
We're going to be most focused on advisors that are looking to grow their practice. If they're looking to expand or they're looking to have a better work-life balance. So if they want to gain new prospects, gain new clients, or nurture their current client database with just less work, if they understand that their best use to their community is being a thought leader as opposed to trying to be a marketer or an event planner or a digital wizard, if they understand their true value, when an advisor really understands that their true value is providing for their clients and their community, that's the advisor that we want to work with. That's the advisor that's going to come to us and see some real growth and see some real changes in their life when they allow White Glove to take some of that work and that burden off their plate.
How do you get new clients? It sounds like you are helping your clients get new clients, but how do you acquire new clients?
So really, White Glove has grown tremendously by word of mouth. The financial industry, as everybody knows, is very vast and wide reaching, but it's really more of a tight knit community than anyone would ever believe. And advisors know that. They know that it's very tight knit. And when an advisor sees success, that spreads like wildfire. And that's really led to the growth of our company. We went from 20 employees in the basement 5 years ago to now over 120 employees just in 5 years, hosting over 10,000 seminars with financial advisors, and now including virtual seminars and social media management. But all that growth, all our new clients are the bulk of those are learned by word of mouth, other people seeing success with our system and our platform and coming on board and saying, hey, you know what? Can you help me the same way you help them?
And that leads to the question of education. What kind of client education do you do?
That's a great question because so much of the services that we offer are dependent on the advisor being well educated and being well versed in what they're going to do. We're going to do all the work so that they can just show up and present at these events. But if they're not successful, if they're not well educated, if they don't know how to capitalize on the opportunities that we provide them, they're not going to see success. They're not going to keep using us. And then that word of mouth just fades. So our system is always built around that advisor's success. So we really try to coach on best practices, whether it's live in person events, how to do a power opening, how to do a power close, how to use hand gestures, but also in virtual settings of best practices of how to use pop ups, how to use tech for your advantage, and what types of messages to say and the cadences of what to say 'em. So we provide dedicated coaches for every advisor that works with us. They'll get to work with what we would call our account executive. And these people are much more than salespeople. They have been trained by the best in the industry when it comes to seminar speaking, live presentations, virtual presentations, and those dedicated reps work with our advisors and really shoulder to shoulder with them to ensure that they have success when they host their first event with us.
Brad, you mentioned you have more than 100 or 120 employees with the company, but who is on your most immediate team and what do they do?
I directly work mostly with the founders, Mike Thurman and Jeff Grail and Dean Thurman. It's great working with them because they've all been advisors. Mike is actually still leading our business development team. Dean Thurman, he leads our product development team, and he's still an advisor himself. But what we're able to do is really capitalize on their expertise from the advisor world, but also all their brilliant minds when it comes to marketing and services that advisors would want. And really that pairing together with my unique skill set of dot connecting is the best way to put it. But it's a very exciting atmosphere to work with all that experience in the industry and to see that miles of road ahead of us of where this could go.
Are you guys active in the community at all?
Oh, absolutely. One of the nicest things about working with White Glove is really twofold. One, we have our core values set out, and one of those is giving. And we always want to be providing our community, our local community, with resources. And there's some very special programs that we have built around giving back to our local community, but also on a much larger scale. The events that we host with financial advisors are all strictly educational, and it's giving a very good value to communities all across the United States. We've had more than 400,000 people register for events that White Glove has been putting on to learn about important information about Social Security benefits or taxes, how taxes can affect your retirement, or even things like estate planning and generational planning. And yes, eventually an advisor is going to pick up clients from these events, but the communities that they're giving these events and are really benefiting from that knowledge and that free education that these advisors are giving out. And that is just a warm feeling that you can sleep easy every night knowing that so many households and so many families across America are getting this education that they don't really have another outlet to get those at.
Now put that all together and outline for me your business philosophy.
Leading with value is the best way to describe it. It's just this, there's an abundance mentality that we have, that there's enough to go around for everybody. There's more than enough to go around. And when you really just put yourself out there and lead with something of value to your community, to your clients, that's going to come back to you tenfold. It's not always looking of what can I make out of this, but it's how can I help you? How can I benefit you in your practice, your life, your family? How can I really help you with that? And eventually that's going to come back and build our business, build us, make us successful. That's the whole mentality around both White Glove, this podcast, my mentality in life is just this, there's an abundance of everything out there, of resources, of opportunities. And the more you give, the more eventually you're going to get back in return. And helping others should be number one.
When you are not working, not helping others, what do you do for fun? What does Brad do?
I'm a total meathead. I love, I love lifting weights, clanging and banging, throwing around big weights if you can. Ronnie Coleman says everybody wants to be a bodybuilder, but nobody wants to lift these heavy weights. I love it. I like to challenge myself physically, mentally, just get in there and kind of lose yourself throwing those things around. I also love playing guitar, a little bit of songwriting here and there, and just kind of explore the creativity that comes along with that. But just total meathead in every aspect outside of work for sure.
Well, with the COVID lockdown, did you get a chance to do some more working out at home?
Oh, it took me one weekend of having the gyms be closed before I went out and bought a squat rack and
All
300
right.
pounds of weight and threw in two more benches and totally, totally revamped my basement that I've been saying I'll get to for years and years and years. It took one weekend of the gym being closed, and I said, "Nope, we are doing
Yep.
this today. This will be done today." So,
Love it. Do you have a hero?
I would have to say that a hero or just the inspiration in my life has always been my parents. That they've been through a lot, and they've always had such a positive attitude, just a bound and determined work ethic. I think my dad has a better work ethic than anybody I've ever met, and it's always so refreshing to see that. And everything that they've been through, hardships in life, they've stuck together, and they have just had a positive attitude. And being able to grow up in that household, there's no one else that I would look to say, I idolize this person, or this person's more important. That then they've always stressed family, and to look at them as a role model has just been a huge positive influence in my life.
That is great. That's an inspiration. What's your idea of success?
I would say being able to take care of the people that I care about, being able to take care of my family, make sure that they're comfortable, that everything is moving the way that it should, as much happiness as you can possibly get out of life. I'd love that, to have more freedom to do what I want. Ultimately, it's probably going to end up being work more, because that's just who I am. 60 hours a week is too short for me. Sometimes it feels so. I always want to go, go, go. But my idea of success would be able to really channel that into all the avenues that I would want, and to really make sure that the loved ones around me, my family and relatives, were taken care of, that they're comfortable, that they'd have the ability to have some more additional freedoms as well, to explore life and get the most out of it.
And that kind of leads me into the next question here. I think I may know part of the answer already. If you had all the money in the world, what would you do?
I might take a day off. That
Oh,
sounds kind
no,
of
no, no,
fun.
no. That's not
Maybe
what I was thinking. No,
go
that's
sit on a beach, go sit on a beach somewhere. Or kind of circling back to that last question, make
yeah.
sure that the first thought would be, family, friends, relatives, all taken care of, and if we could all have a wonderful life together, that would be great. I've always had a strong desire, a passion to build something of my own, to build a home, or even a community, and to really benefit those around me, and just make it, this is exactly what I'd want to do. It's a little crazy. I would buy an abandoned factory on a rock gulch if I could, and just live in that and totally remodel it. And if I had all the money in the world, I would probably build something that looks like it was 100 years old. But I'd love to have that ability.
Is there one thing that you recommend most to clients, family, and friends?
I would say probably just to find something that you're passionate about. If you're going to get up every day and do something, and you're going to spend most of your life working at something, find something that you can get up with some excitement in the morning, that you can put yourself into. And not everybody has the ability to make that their career, but if you can find something that motivates you every morning, and it could be something small, it could be something massive, but having that true north is always something that I think is important. If you wake up every day feeling great about accomplishing something, and you have that true north that you're always headed towards, your life is going to feel much more fulfilled than if you're just doing the day to day, or you're constantly looking for the next thing.
And to stay focused on what you do and to stay on track, do you have a mantra or a motto or something that you say to yourself?
I've heard it from probably someone a lot smarter than me before, but it was that you can be really great at a few things, where you can be okay at a lot of things. And that's something that I always try to focus on. There's things I'm just not good at. Geography, time zone math, just can't figure it out. And it seems simple, but you know what? There's things that I can absolutely dial into, that I'm good at. And if I focus on those, I could be great at. And that's what I want to do. I want to always have that mentality of take what you're good at and excel at that. You could take something you're terrible at and work at it and work at it, work at it, and eventually be okay at it. But if you took that same effort and you put it at something you're good at, something you're passionate about, then you could really be life altering status. You could really achieve something magnificent if you focus on what you're good and passionate at. And that's what you put all your energy into. That's how you get superstars. That's how you get someone that excels above everybody else, is because they have that one thing.
All right, Brad, what is your proudest achievement?
I would say my proudest achievement I haven't gotten yet. And that's something that I actually take a lot of pride in, is that I'm always working for that next. I want to be better every single day. And that's something that I always want to be a student. I always want to learn from the best and take that, absorb it, make myself better. And at some point I might get there where I can say, hey, this is my proudest achievement. But today I have the most pride in the fact that I'm humble enough to know there's so many great people out there with great information, and I love to learn and absorb that and then pass that along if I can and give value to other people. But having that student mentality, always learning and always ingesting new ideas and a new mindset, for me, that's probably the thing that I hold the most pride in currently, is like, let's find out what's next, but let's get there together. I love that mindset. And that's probably what I have the most pride in myself for being able to adapt and stay to.
Well, that's probably the most unique answer I've gotten yet to that question. I appreciate that. All right, you have the attention of many people right now, Brad. Who should be listening to your podcast?
Simply put, people with an open mind that are looking for growth, advisors in the industry that are looking for that next thing, that are willing to learn, willing to listen to someone that is just going to give out value. I want to talk to the best in the industry at what they do and share what they're willing to share with advisors or estate planning attorneys or anybody looking to grow their practice that helps families. Then this podcast will be for you. This podcast is to help you grow your practice and to have an open mind about what's next and what's on the horizon and what people are seeing success at. So if you want to know what others in the trenches are seeing success at, then you should listen to this podcast. Then it's going to be for you. If you're curious to see what is working out there today, what advisors are doing to grow their practice, and hear from people that are doing it and seeing success, then I think this podcast would be for you.
All right, and how can they reach you?
Easiest way is go ahead and stalk me on LinkedIn, shoot me a personal message. You can absolutely reach out to whiteglove.com and fill out a form there. And then this podcast will be hosted on a website and a variety of places as well. So I'll always have my contact information on there.
Great getting to know a little bit more about you, Brad. We'll be talking again. Brad Swineheart of White Glove. To subscribe to this podcast, simply use the subscribe button on this page. To share with friends and colleagues, use the share button. I'm Patrice Sikora, and let's talk again later.
Thank you for listening to Be Advised, Leading with Value with Brad Swineheart. Click the subscribe button below to be notified when new episodes become available. The information covered and posted represents the views and opinions of the guest and does not necessarily represent the views or opinions of White Glove. The content has been made available for informational and educational purposes only. The content is not intended to be a substitute for professional investing advice. Always seek the advice of your financial advisor or other qualified financial service providers with any questions you may have regarding your investment planning.